Well, thank you for everybody joining. And welcome to Tesla's webinar today, and thank you for showcasing their product with us. So I'm the residential channel manager for Segen, and yeah, we're excited to showcase this together. But if you have any questions about Segen or how we can help you get signed up for Tesla if you're not already signed up, then please reach out in the chat or reach out to your account manager, and we'll certainly help you kickstart that process for you. So just in case many of you don't already know, what makes Segen different, and why did Tesla partner with us? We've got huge stock availability across the portfolio and the largest portfolio of products in the industry as well. We've got an online portal that Tesla likes very much, so that they can show live stock and when stock is coming in, and that you can use that for quoting, ordering, and even your pipeline management as well. You get a dedicated account manager, a dedicated finance contact, and also a dedicated order processor as well. So if you didn't know that already, you do now. And then on top of that, a dedicated technical support person. So if you need help on site or anything like that, you don't need to go around calling all the manufacturers or Tesla directly. We do have support in-house as well. So I just want to reiterate, if you want to install or sell Tesla products and you want to get accredited, please reach out to us. We're more than happy kickstarting that process for you and sending you a form. And then once that's sent over to Tesla, obviously we'll work together to make sure and get you onboarded as fast as possible. So to get in touch with us, all you need to do is reach out to your account manager, email info@segen.co.uk, and we'll help you get started. And I will pass over to Gary to introduce himself.
Thanks, Michael. Morning, everyone. Nice to see so many familiar names on the call. My name is Gary Stirling. I am the UK and Ireland country manager, so I look after our residential energy products in those markets. Been with Tesla for the last 7.5 years and been in the renewables industry since 2011. So, yeah, one of the old horses of the industry already. I feel older than my years, but really excited to be with you today and talking to you about who we are, our product range, and I'll give a real comprehensive overview of Powerwall and give you the best kind of understanding as we possibly can. Thanks again to the team at Segen for hosting this. Really appreciate it and excited to spend some time with you today. I guess just to kick off, we move to the next slide. It's really what I want to kind of give you a feeling of is why are we here? So Tesla exists to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. That is our company mission. It drives every single decision we make. It drives every product design we have. It's why we exist as a company. We do not make any product without it being tied to this mission. And it obviously matters to you as well. Otherwise, you wouldn't be involved in this industry or on this call. So there's many of you on this call looking at the names who have contributed significantly to that goal. And thank you for that. And those of you who are just starting the journey, it's a very exciting time to get involved. So yeah, this is what we're working as together, and excited to bring that forward. Now, if we move on to the next slide, hopefully there's not a slide delay, just to bring you through some of our product suite. So Tesla, first thing everyone thinks of, we're a vehicle manufacturer. We produce our Model S, X, 3, Y, and Cybertruck. At the moment, S, X, 3, and Y are available in the UK. And hopefully some of you in the car have experienced, in the call have experienced that. If not, feel free to reach out to anyone in my team. We're happy to introduce you with some test drives. We also have our supercharger network. It's the most comprehensive charging network in the world. You're never more than 100 miles from a supercharger. It is the real standout difference of why our product availability is so strong. You can charge without any hassles. I was with the Segen team yesterday in Huddersfield and drove back up to Glasgow using our superchargers. Only needed one stop at TB on the way. So yeah, it's really comprehensive to make sure you can get wherever you need to be. We have our domestic energy products, which is mainly Powerwall. Solar Roof, which you can see on that fourth image. Solar Roof is only available in the US. We manufacture it in our Buffalo facility. Don't ask me when it's coming to the UK. I do not have a date as yet. It's a very popular product. In the US, we produce the equivalent of 1,000 roofs a week, and it's very, very popular over there. We have our semi-truck coming to market. We're trying to decarbonise the world, and with transport, haulage becomes a key part of that. So we have our semi-truck to help decarbonise more of the transport element. We also have our mega pack, which is our large-scale commercial and utility um, storage solution. You've probably see we've got a number of those dotted throughout the UK. We also have the largest battery system in the Europe, which is all mega pack as well. And effectively, what we're trying to do is bring this entire product suite together. So you have your home, you have your Tesla car, your Tesla EV charger, your power walls, your solar, and it's all operated in a single app which we develop. It's all in-house engineering. We don't externally have any engineers implementing any changes to our products. So it's all driven by our own in-house engineering teams. We just draw to the next slide, George. Now, to give you a flavour of what we are building, when I first joined Tesla, we only had the Fremont factory and Giga Nevada, and over the last few years, we've massively scaled our production output. So, starting left to right, we have our Austin facility over in Texas. That is where we produce Cybertruck. We have Berlin. Berlin is our only European footprint. We produce Model Y from there at the moment. If you happen to be in Berlin, feel free to reach out. We do regular factory tours, and I highly recommend doing it. We also have our Shanghai factory over in China. Any new Model 3 and Model Y coming into the UK comes from our Shanghai factory. And we have Fremont, which is an old GM facility. Again, if you're ever over in San Francisco, highly recommend doing the tour. I did it in 2019, and it really is quite a sight. But moving on to the next slide, what I can show you is where Powerwall production is now. All Powerwall production is done at Giga in Nevada. It's in the middle of the desert, just outside Reno. We produce all our cells, Powerwall, drive chains for Model 3 in the Giga Nevada. Again, if you're ever out that way, feel free to do the tour. To give you a idea of the scale, I've got a couple of slides here just to show you how big the factory is. So it's still under construction, and we build it in blocks, as you can probably see in the background there. As we complete a block, we move on to the next one, and we start production in the block we've finished. Upon completion, it will be 6 million square feet, making it the largest footprint building in the world. To give you an idea of scale, it's the equivalent of 93 Boeing 747 jets. And don't ask me why, but for some reason in Tesla, we like to equate everything to hamsters. So for some reason, someone sat down and worked out you can fit 50 billion hamsters inside the factory. Don't ask me why we do that. I don't want to find the man who did the maths, but it gives you an idea of the scale behind our production capabilities just from that one factory alone. Now, if we move on, I want to really focus on Powerwall 3. Why are we building it? Why are we bringing it to market? What can it do? So I guess if we just move forward to start off, why are we building it in the first place? So we sit down and we build what we call master plans. Master plans basically decide the next phase of growth for us as a business. We're currently on the third phase of this master plan, and a key part of that is building the sustainable energy economy. Now, in typical Tesla fashion, there's some pretty ambitious numbers in there. We want to deploy more than 240 terawatt hours of storage with 30 terawatts of renewable power. It will take $10 trillion of manufacturing investment, which is significant. However, we are pumping that money in. But the most important number on that slide is there's zero resource challenges. There is nothing stopping us from achieving this. It's just a case of how quickly can we do it. And with partners like yourself, we are really ramping up how quickly we are getting to these targets, which is really exciting to see. Now, on this next slide, I just want to show you is some of the kind of key things we're going to look at. Oh, thanks, George. I thought I'd missed a slide myself there. Why are we building the product? So, as you've probably all seen, home electricity demand is only increasing. We're seeing more and more renewables. We're seeing more electric vehicles on the road. More customers are moving away from gas boilers to heat pumps, and that's creating a lot more electricity demand on our network and in our homes. And solar and storage becomes a key part of how we tackle that new demand. We avoid transmission losses. VPPs not only support the grid but drive value for our customers. It protects us from weak outages, weak grids and outages, and maximizes the use of intermittent renewables. So solar and storage becomes a real key part of how we are going to supply that new demand. Now, for the rest of this deck, I'm going to break Powerwall down into 4 key sections. We're going to work through these to give you as much overview as we possibly can. I'm going to try and make it my very best not to make it death by PowerPoint and make sure it's interactive. But yeah, we're going to start off with performance, durability, install value, and the actual value of the units itself. So we'll kick off with best performance. Um, one more time, sorry, George. There we go. So we can show you the evolution of the path we've been on. We started with Powerwall 1. Powerwall 1, if we're being completely honest, was a bit of a nightmare. It was really difficult to install. I had a big wooden crate that had to be mounted to the wall. You had a third-party battery inverter, third-party solar inverter. It just wasn't very Tesla-like in how we manufactured it. So very quickly we transitioned to Powerwall 2, which became the kind of real benchmark of battery storage globally. We have more than 700,000 of these deployed around the world. We integrated the battery inverter inside the unit. However, it wasn't as all-encompassing as we wanted it to be. We still required a third-party solar inverter. It wasn't as easy to install as we would have liked, hence why we're now ready to bring out Powerwall 3. We have integrated the battery inverter and the solar inverter all into a single unit. So you're now capable to AC or DC couple it. You can actually do both at the same time. It's a lot easier to install. The whole front door of the unit comes off and the whole top third of the unit is the wiring chamber. So tons more flexibility. And we've tried to drive fewer boxes, less wiring, higher efficiency, and a one-app commission experience just to make his life as easy as possible for you as an installer and for our end customers using the product. So to give you an idea on this next slide about what the kind of key changes are compared to Powerwall 2. So as I said, Powerwall 2 was a real workhorse. It really did well over the years across all our markets globally. But we've seen spaces in which we can really drive up the improvements compared to Powerwall 2. So starting off with the power output, Powerwall 2 was only capable of doing 3.68 or 5 kilowatts of power. We have massively ramped this up with Powerwall 3. You can still set it to 3.68 to meet G98 requirements. We can also set it to 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11.04 kilowatts of power. So a ton more power in a single unit, reducing the need for multiple units. The load start capability we've increased by 75%. This is allowing you to cover the startup loads of heat pumps and EV chargers. We can oversize the PV system on the inverter we have in the unit up to 20 kilowatts. Capacity wise is exactly the same as Powerwall 2 at 13.5 kilowatt hours. We feel that's a real sweet spot for our markets. The solar inverter built into Powerwall 3 has 3 strings, giving you tons of flexibility. You can go as low as 2 panels per string and as high as 15. So you've got tons and tons of flexibility there, depending on how you want to design your system. And we've supplied with a stringing tool on our partner portal to cover any questions you have about compatibility with different panels. We've also integrated a DC disconnect switch on the side of the unit. So we've brought as much as we can into a single box, trying to streamline the whole overall installation and make it look better on the customer's properties as well. And with that increased power output, we've come up with the tagline of Power Everything. So I was fortunate enough to get the first Powerwall 3 in the UK. So I'm now a year, just over a year I've had my Powerwall 3. And I have everything in this image. I've got a heat pump, I've got an EV charger, and very regularly I'll be warming my home or charging my EV at the same time. And with 11 kilowatts of power, it's so good. You're reducing any energy coming from the grid. You're just increasing how much more self-sufficient you can be. It really is a game changer in terms of what you can do with a single box on your wall. Now, adding on to that, how can you use that power to drive more value? So we are world leaders on when it comes to virtual power plants. This slide is already out of date because we now have over 100,000 Powerwall owners enrolled in more than 50 virtual power plants globally. To give you an idea of some of the things we do, in America, we're actually an energy retailer. You can buy your energy from us as Tesla Electric, and we will guarantee you cheap overnight charging for a set fee. We'll give you like a minimum value in terms of what you can earn in terms of VPP events. So this is what we do in America, and we're also like really keen on optimizing retail tariffs like we're currently doing with Octopus in the UK. So yeah, we're going to do a lot of focus on how we can drive value there. We're also bringing our ecosystem closer and closer together. Our vehicles, our power walls, our wall connectors, everything's becoming closer intertwined. They're all speaking to each other, driving more value for our end customers. Backup protection, we're a firm believer in why can you not back up your entire home? Powerwall will provide whole home backup. You get the full benefit of the entire power outage, the power rating of that battery and your outage. So yeah, you're covered in every eventuality. And that links in quite nicely with Stormwatch, which I go to in more detail later on. Stormwatch is a key feature for us to ensure that all our customers are getting the protection they need if there's a heavy weather warning coming their way. Now, what we're trying to do with Powerwall is overall increase the efficiency of the system. Now, with Powerwall 2, there was 3 power conversions because it was an AC coupled system. We're going DC to AC, DC to AC, a bit like the band. It had 86% efficiency, and we looked at how can we improve that. And obviously, we've moved to a DC coupled architecture. Now, that drives an extra 3% efficiency, which doesn't sound a lot. However, it's the equivalent of an extra 30 days of lifetime solar generation. So these small percentages do add up to a greater value of the savings for your end customers. Now, if we just move on to the next slide, George. What we look at is what we can do in terms of in the home with Powerwall. So you can simultaneously charge your battery at 5 kilowatts and put power to the home at 11.04 with up to 20 kilowatts of solar. We're giving you tons of flexibility to make sure we're not having as much solar clipping. There is a way to actually increase the charge rate of the battery with an expansion pack, which we'll show you later on in this deck. But if we move on to the next slide, what we're trying to do is, like I said, reduce the amount of solar clipping. Now, with Powerwall 2, the max solar system we would recommend you install to it was 7.6 kilowatts. It gave an EC-DC ratio of 1 to 3, and we wanted to improve that because there's nothing worse than wasting free generation on your roof. So with Powerwall 3 and the ability to oversize the inverter, our AC-DC ratio increases to 1 to 7. So yeah, it's a real increase in terms of what we can use from solar generation and reducing the need from grid energy. Now, talking a bit more about the flexibility. So as I said, Powerwall 3 is an inbuilt solar inverter. We have 3 strings in there, and we've tried to give you as much flexibility as we can. So you can have two, like I said earlier, as little as 2 panels on a string, as many as 15. Even at that 2 module length, you still have over 97% efficiency. So we've given lots of flexibility in terms of if you've got awkward roofs, if you've got shading, anything you need to find a way around, Powerwall 3 gives you the flexibility to do so. Now, obviously, on this slide, you can see we've got some of the specifications in terms of voltage range. Now, I don't want you to sit there and try and work out the maths in your head. On our partner portal, we have a string tool. You go on there, you put the drop-down list of what panels you're using, and it will tell you your minimum and maximum modules per string. So we've taken all the guesswork out of it for you as well. Now, we're one of the largest manufacturer of inverters in the world, and also we are the largest manufacturer of inverters in the world. It's in all our vehicles, Power Pack, Mega Pack, Powerwall. We have a huge experience in this, and it's allowed us to look at what drives most value for our customers. Now, obviously, there'll be people on this call who like to use microinverters, but what we've found is with our architecture, we can drive more value for our end customers. We've actually produced a white paper on this. It's on our website if you want to have some bedtime reading. But what we believe is for 93% of sites, we can drive 14% more volume with our string architecture compared to microinverters. So yeah, feel free to check it out. It was written by some very clever people that can back up a lot of these numbers. But yeah, really pleasing to see that we've developed a solution that will drive more value for you as a installer, making it easier and more flexible, but also for our end customers to have more value as well. Now, a little bit about Tesla Opticaster. Tesla Opticaster is our inbuilt AI software. Now, what Opticaster does is we built it for our Mega Pack, actually. It was actually a utility scale solution we built, and I've applied it to Powerwall. Basically, how Opticaster works on this next slide is it will adjust itself to each individual user. Now, if you tend to get up at 6 in the morning and you turn on the shower and you boil the kettle, it will build in that user pattern for you, and it will look at load forecasting. It will look at your expected PV generation based on weather forecasting. It will look on what tariff you're currently on, and it will constantly fine tune itself to give you the cheapest possible way to run your home. It's constantly adjusting and reevaluating. Um, and it's basically been done to take all the guesswork away. You know, you don't have to sit there going, do I need to charge up to 40% overnight? Do I need to do this? Do I need to do that? This does it for you. Give it 7 days once it's installed to understand your user habits, and then it will start to drive savings for you. It will adjust itself based on the time of year. As it gets into the winter, it will balance out your lack of solar with smart charging. So yeah, it's a really great feature and probably something we don't talk about enough. But it really does lead the market in that sense. Um, and I think we summed that up in the next slide, George, is that, yeah, this is basically why we built it. We're going to increase the renewables consumption, drive greater economic savings for the end customer, and add additional monetary value with third-party services like VPPs. On to durability. So yeah, a little bit more about some of the features behind Powerwall 3 now. So we, as I said, leaders in a lot of this kind of space. You know, we've got more than 16 gigawatt hours of stationary storage deployed worldwide. We're actually hurtling very quickly towards more than 1 million Powerwalls. So yeah, expect an announcement in the not too distant future that we've hit 1 million Powerwalls globally. We've got more than 2 terawatts of power electronics built. We've got 50,000 superchargers globally, more than 3 million vehicles on the road. The list goes on and on. But what I'm trying to say here is, you know, we don't achieve these numbers without having a product that's reliable. You know, anything we build has to stand to the test of time. When you look at the entire process of anything at Tesla, it has to stand up. I mean, we design the products, we manufacture them, we sell them, we even install them and service them ourselves in the US. So everything has to last, and that's why we've got to some of these, you know, real key milestones. There's not many people that can say they've had more or almost 1 million of a single product installed globally. So yeah, it's great to see that we're kind of scaling up, and you guys on this call have played a real key part in that. So thank you. Now, heat mode. Powerwall 2 was the only battery in the market to have inbuilt thermal management. It allowed us to have operating temperatures of -20 to 50 degrees. We have massively revamped this with Powerwall 3. The temperature range works exactly the same, so you can fit it outdoors. You don't need any additional parts, just out the box and on the wall. It will come as it is. It's IP67 rated, so there's no issues there. Um, Basically, we've redesigned the logic behind how it works, quite similar to Opticaster. In the past, Powerwall 2 would just, if it was cold outside, it would warm itself. With Powerwall 3, it's now looking at your behavior and warming itself when it's expecting you to carry out any kind of behavior. So the example I used earlier, up at 6, turning on the shower, it will learn that and it will warm itself in line with when it's expecting that behavior. So yeah, it gives you greater performance at lower efficiencies. So sorry, higher efficiencies with less energy wasted. And how we've managed to do that is we've completely redesigned the architecture behind this. So each individual cell has an embedded resistive heater, so we can warm right down to cell level, which means is we can do it quicker and much more efficiently. It's very similar to if any of you have a Tesla vehicle and you're traveling and you're approaching a supercharger, and in the bottom corner you see the image that pops up on your sat nav saying we're preconditioned the battery for fast charging. It's exactly the same logic. It's conditioning the cells when it's expecting a charge or discharge behavior. So it's a new logic and a new architecture which is driving greater efficiencies. Now, from a cooling perspective, Powerwall 2 had a liquid cooling system. Out of all the systems we had deployed around the world, we never once cooled a system, so we probably over-engineered Powerwall 2 a little bit in that sense. Powerwall 3, we've redesigned the air cooling, the cooling architecture, so it's now an air cooling system. We draw air from the bottom of the unit, it comes up through the unit and exhausts through the rears. So yeah, it's a saving we've managed to make sure there's no any kind of loss in performance. We've managed to kind of have a saving there that's also negated any issues with having liquid cooling from Powerwall 2. And it's actually flood-proof as well. I think this might be a video, George. We'll see if it plays. But you can actually have Powerwall submerged in 2 feet of water, and it will still continue to operate. So if you have any customers who's in a flood risk, you don't have to worry about it. This Powerwall is actually wired in this fish tank. The guy who installed my Powerwall from America showed me some pictures of him standing in it, wiring it together. So it is powering everything you see in this video. If anyone's getting any ideas, please don't install it in a fish tank. I've been asked already multiple times, as much as it will work, we don't want you to do it. So please refrain from the temptation, but it gives you that comfort if you have anyone who's at risk of flooding. There won't be any drop in performance as long as they don't exceed more than 2 feet of water. Now, Stormwatch, also I touched on Stormwatch earlier on. Stormwatch has become a real key feature of Powerwall. Basically, how we operate is if there's a amber or red weather warning from the Met Office, we will activate Stormwatch for the impacted postcodes. Any Powerwall in that impacted postcode will charge to 100% and hold the charge for the duration of the storm. Once the storm passes, it will resume normal operation. So it's basically giving the customer the comfort that they've got a full battery there if they need it. In my time at Tesla, I've seen us use this more and more. Just in 2023 alone, we had 13 million Stormwatch events across 220,000 global locations. We are seeing this deployed more and more. I know we had a red weather warning at the start of this year. So it's become a really key feature for our customers and one that they absolutely love to have. Now, we also do a lot in terms of disaster relief. When I joined Tesla back in 2017, we were rebuilding the grid in Puerto Rico after it was hit by a hurricane. We also deploy power walls to California to help fight wildfires. We do a lot globally to help um, keep the world ticking along. We have supported in Ukraine where we've installed power walls in hospitals to keep the power going, and we'll continue to support the effort over there. So yeah, we do a lot in that sense. We build micro power stations that have Powerwall gateway and a Starlink terminal for communications as well. So yeah, we like to make sure we're not just driving the change to sustainability in the world, but we're also supporting when these kind of events hit to make sure no one's left without power. Now, as I said earlier on, Powerwall has been a hugely reliable product, but what we're trying to achieve with Powerwall 3 is make the whole overall system more reliable. So you've maybe got a competitor system that has a third-party battery, third-party inverter, microinverters on the roof. You've got multiple points of failure. With the Powerwall 3 system, it's a single point of failure. It's one box on the side of the wall. If it fails, we give you a brand new one. It's as simple as that. You're not on the roof, you're not taking off panels, you're not swapping microinverters. And as you'll see on this next slide, we don't just cover all the parts for the full 10-year warranty, we cover all the labour as well. So it doesn't matter if it breaks year 9, month 11 of the 10-year warranty, we will replace the part and we will pay you to go back to site and replace it. So we don't just leave you high and dry. I know some of our competitors maybe cover labour for the first 3 or 4 years, maybe partial coverage up to year 5. It's nothing like that with us. We will cover it for the full 10 years, which is quite unique in this industry. On to install. So I'll give a high level overview of how Powerwall 3 can be installed. Also, we run webinars on the actual install part of it, so we can do that more in depth on that if you've got the desire. Starting off with the box, doesn't sound very exciting, but it's completely reusable. We've redesigned the box compared to Powerwall 2, so it's a lot stronger. There's no need for a pallet because it's built into the shell. Basically, this is returnable to us, and we will reuse these, so we're reducing your waste on site as well. So really pleased to see that we've made the box stronger, but also more sustainable. Uh, on the next slide, you'll see inside the box, we have the Powerwall 3, you have the glass front door, you have an air intake screen that clicks to the bottom of the unit, so any debris that's been absorbed isn't taken inside the unit. The wall bracket and the accessory pack, so absolutely everything you need for a Powerwall 3 install is there ready for you to use when you open the box. There's no additional parts other than the gateway. Now, on this next slide, you'll see we've actually developed something else, which is the dolly. So I know it's been very popular. I know there's probably a few of you have got orders in with Segen. We're working our best to reduce the backlog of that as much as we can. We've designed the dolly to make Powerwall 3 as easy to maneuver as possible. It has big rubber wheels, Shimano disc brakes, so you can get it up and down stairs. It has handles on the back of the dolly which attach the unit to give you an anchorage point. There's a port at the back so you can attach your drill, which will actually lift the unit and lower it onto the wall for you. So it's reducing the manpower on site, saving backs and saving time and saving money. So it's been very popular since we launched it, and it's we're doing our best to get them to you as quickly as possible. From a wiring perspective, we have increased the amount of wire cable entries for you with Powerwall 3. Powerwall 2 only had one on the side and one in the rear. With Powerwall 3, we have 2 on the right, 2 on the rear, and 4 on the left. So there's a lot more in terms of available cable entries to give you that flexibility. What I will say is do not drill this. If you tap the screen, if you just press it again, George, all the holes have a knockout with a flathead screwdriver. You just need a flathead screwdriver and a hammer, and they chap out. It's really easy. Do not drill them, okay? You risk damaging the unit. So yeah, we've made it easier. Just chap them out with the hammer, and you're good to go. So inside the unit, this is actually my power wall in my home. So inside the unit, you can see on the left-hand side, we've got the incoming AC cables. On the right-hand side, you would bring your solar into that DC disconnect switch, which is already pre-wired into the MPPTs for you, and that lovely rainbow-coloured cable. In the middle is the board. We call it the TACO, which is the Tesla Asset Controller. Now, the board previously in Powerwall 2 was in the gateway. It's now sited inside the Powerwall, so all your commissioning is done at Powerwall level. You scan the QR code, as you can see on this image, and that starts the commissioning process. So all the clever things are now done at Powerwall level. No, from a wiring perspective, you'll need to hit this a couple of times, George. So you bring your AC cables from the gateway into the Powerwall. You also has your meter tails into the Powerwall so it can island the home in event of a power cut. If you press it twice more, George. There we go. Yeah, so you bring your AC cables from the gateway into the Powerwall, and you can also, as I said earlier, take your solar into the DC disconnect switch. So yeah, this is a really simple wiring diagram. I'm not here to tell you how to install it. I'm just giving you a high-level overview. We've got webinars and design guides that can support you with this, so please take the time to have a look at them. On the next slide, yes, thank you. Yeah, we also have non-backup and backup. So as I said, as much as we say you can have full home backup, occasionally there may be a load you do not want to have covered in a power cut, whether that be an EV charger, maybe a heat pump. Some people have got hot tubs. If you do not want to have a load covered in a power cut, we actually have a non-backup section in the gateway that you can wire directly into, so it's giving you that flexibility if you do not want to have any backup loads. From a communication perspective, I think we have to press this just one more time. There we go. So you need to run comms cable from the gateway to the Powerwall. That's nothing new. Anyone who's done Powerwall 2 in the past will know this. The only thing I want to point out here is the comms cable in the gateway is the reverse of what's inside the Powerwall. So as you can see, inside the gateway, it goes 12 volt ground, can high, can low. Inside the Powerwall, it goes can low, can high, ground, and 12 volt. So it's stamped in the board, so it should be easy to follow. However, we like to point it out because people will just assume it's a mirror image of each other when it's not. So please keep that in mind when you're on site. Now, from an actual internet connection perspective, Powerwall obviously has Wi-Fi. It also has cellular built into the system. Now, there is no SIM costs to the end customer for this. We pick up all the data costs. We use the SIM basically as a backup. We always want a hardwired Ethernet connection first, and Wi-Fi as a secondary, and then the cellular's there as a backup. Now, what Powerwall 3 differs to Powerwall 2 here is in the past, you would take an Ethernet connection from your router to the gateway. You're now taking it from the router to the Powerwall 3. So I think if you press it one more time, George, you can see here, we have two Ethernet ports inside the taco. You take it into one of them, you do not take it into the gateway. The reason why we have two Ethernet ports is on this next slide. So if you're having multiple power walls, the comms from unit to unit is much easier. So if you press it one more time, George, you link communication from Powerwall to Powerwall through Ethernet. So you would go port B to port A, B to A, B to A. So it's just an Ethernet connection from one unit to the next for the comms. It's super straightforward. It couldn't be any easier. So that's why you've got to. So yeah, we've made it as easy as we possibly can to connect the communications from multiple Powerwalls together. And then, as I said, from a commission perspective, you scan it at Powerwall level. You do not scan the QR code in the gateway anymore. So when you're all wired up, you scan the QR code, and in the Tesla One app, you will start the commissioning process, and it will take you step by step through everything you possibly need to make sure the system's up and running. You will see as you go through the commissioning process, there's a lot of red crosses and green ticks. If you're seeing all green ticks, the site's good to go, and you can pack up the tools and go home. If you're seeing a red cross, something's not been done, or there's an issue, and you've got our support team there to support you as well. And then once it's all commissioning, the door goes on. Just remember the taco actually has a rainproof cover. What I like to say is don't wait till you're finished before you put it on, because if you're outdoors, you don't want to run the risk of any rain getting into it. So install the taco rain cover as soon as you open the unit. The door attaches some 6 T20 screws, 2 in the top, 4 on the sides. And then once it's all screwed up, it's good to go and you can go home for the day. And basically what we're going to build to is a very familiar installation, because it will look similar to Powerwall 2, where you'll have a gateway and a Powerwall, but we're actually going to be very soon move to something that gives you the option where you've only got Powerwall on the wall with no gateway, which I'll show you in a bit more detail later on in this deck. So yeah, it's a very familiar installation from a wiring perspective, as you can see here in these system configurations. You know, it's exactly the same as Powerwall 2. You can have whole home backup, partial home backup with loads upstream to the gateway. I know a lot of you are asking for the advanced design guide for Powerwall 3. It will be published on the partner portal very soon, which will support you with that. But yeah, we've kind of redesigned it to make sure it's as familiar as possible, but also a lot easier for you. Now, One of our latest innovations is now available in the market is our expansion packs. So often with Powerwall 2, what we heard is we've got customers with a Powerwall who want an additional unit, but for the capacity, they don't want extra power, they just want additional storage capacity, and the DNOs were rejecting it. We've come up with an expansion pack to get a way around this. So expansion packs give you the option of an additional 13.5 kilowatt hours of capacity with no more power electronics. So there's no need for any DNO connection. You can have 3 expansion packs attached to a Powerwall. And we've designed this DC harness, this black cable and image. This is specifically made at our factory to connect a lead unit to an expansion pack. This makes it super easy to install. When I got an expansion pack installed in my house, it took 30 minutes. It really is that quick. You connect the 2 units together from a DC expansion pack, you recommission it in 5 minutes, and it's done. It really is that easy. I was talking to one of our installers a few weeks ago who's doing 3 of these in a day. So yeah, we've made expanding our systems a lot easier. Now, if we move forward, this is the technical spec of it. So at the moment, as I said, 13.5 kilowatt hours. The max system configuration you can have here, this is where it might get a little bit confusing. So you can have 4 Powerwall 3s as max. When it comes to expansion packs, you can have 3 of them, but they must all be attached to one of the Powerwall 3s, okay? We are working on expanding more expansion packs across all the other follower units, but at the moment, it's one Powerwall 3 that has the expansion packs on it, and 3 other ones it wouldn't. That gives you a total system size of 94.5 kilowatt hours with 44 kilowatts of power, but it also increases your max charge rate to 8 kilowatts. Now, that is a max. It doesn't matter if you add 3 expansion packs or 1, it's 8 kilowatts is the max charge rate. It can be floor or wall mounted, and there's 2 different stacking options. You can stack them front to back, as you can see on the image to the side there, or side by side. We've got different length DC harnesses to suit, and it's only compatible with Powerwall 3. I think I saw a question pop up there about compatibility with Powerwall 2. It's being worked on, it'll be here next year, but as it stands, Powerwall 3 and expansion packs are not compatible with Powerwall 2. Okay. Now, as we move on to the next slide, as I said, this is probably a really good graphic to explain what I've just touched on. So 4 Powerwall 3s and the lead Powerwall 3 can have the expansion packs on it. We are working on increasing that, as you can see in this image, to give you up to 16 Powerwalls worth of capacity. So yeah, it'll be a real meaty unit, but at the moment, this is the max system size, okay? And then this just to kind of give you a flavour of what you might need when it comes to expansion packs. 'Cause I think there's been a little bit of confusion with some of this. So um, if you are stacking a Powerwall with an expansion pack, you need the Powerwall 3 expansion pack stacking kit, which is basically a new wall bracket and a plastic shim that goes between the 2 units. You will also need a DC harness. If you're stacking front to back, the 0.5 meter length is exactly what you need. If you're stacking them side by side on a wall, you need to order obviously the wall mounting expansion pack kit. Now, the expansion pack does not come with the glass door as standard because we don't want to send you waste glass doors, but it will come in the wall mount expansion pack kit. So it'll be a wall bracket and a glass door. You've also got the 3 harness cables you need. So you can have a 0.5 meter, a 2 meter, and a 4 meter. That's the 3 lengths we provide them in. So you can be able to order suiting your needs on the site you're working on. So just keep that in mind because I think there's been a little bit of confusion about what you need when you're stacking expansion packs onto a Powerwall 3. Okay. And although it's a new product, we don't want to redesign the wheel. We are using all the same apps as we have in the past with Powerwall 2. For the guys in the field, Tesla One app for commissioning. If you're in the office, you still have Power Hub, which is your fleet monitoring tool. And our end customers all still use exactly the same Tesla app as they do as if they had a vehicle. They can see their vehicle, their wall connector, their Powerwall, their solar, everything all in a single app view. So yeah, nothing's changing from an app perspective. So Tesla One app, as I said, exactly the same as Powerwall 2. It's a great tool for your guys when they're on site. They get a ton of metrics. They get string level solar data. They can see the battery charge and discharge, how everything's behaving on the site. Um, Everything they could possibly need to get the job done and go home is all there. Like I said, if you've got all the green ticks across the commissioning, the site's live, it's in the customer app, the warranty starts straight away, there's no more extra steps, and they can go home. So yeah, exactly the same app as anyone who's done Powerwall 2, so please make sure you're familiar with the Tesla One app. And Power Hub, if you're in the office, Power Hub's the fleet monitoring tool. It gives you every imaginable metric you could possibly need. Going left to right, we've got the alert tray. So if there's any issues with a site, it will tell you. This also triggers our support team to look at it proactively. So it's not like there'll be an alert there that nobody's doing anything about. You can also see an impact. So you can see as a fleet and per home, how much solar is being generated, how much charge and discharge has been in the battery system, what's being imported or exported to the grid. You also have tons of graphing visuals. You can see exactly how and when energy is being used in the house. You can see it in 30-minute data segments. You can see it in 15-second data segments. You can see all the sources that energy is being drawn from. The amount of metrics available to you here literally is incredible. There's a lot more there than you'll ever need, but it's a great tool to use. You also have a diagnostics tray that will show you your average battery charge and discharge, your time on grid, average solar production, if there's any load drops, if there's any negative loads, everything, and that constantly refreshes every 7 days to make sure there's no any changes. We're aware that sometimes someone gets a smart meter after Powerwall installation and the guys maybe put the CT back on the wrong way. So these kind of things show up in here. And then the last but not least, we have a replica of the customer app. So you can actually see exactly what the customer sees in their app. So if you have a customer saying something's not looking quite right, you can go on the Power Hub and see exactly what they're saying for yourself and actually troubleshoot with them. They can actually press a button in their app to give you control to actually change settings as well. So it's called remote access. So they can actually press a button in their app to give you control for 7 days to change any settings. So it could be something as simple as they've set their tariff up wrong and you can help them out with that. So we're giving you a little bit more control to support your customers moving forward. And then last but not least, we can run you through the value proposition part of it. So from a warranty perspective, we have the most simple warranty in the market. I really do believe that. It's 2 pages. There's no jargon. It's 10 years, unlimited charge cycles, 100% depth of discharge. If at any point it drops below 80% energy retention, we give you a brand new one. It generally could not be any simpler. It sticks in my throat, a bad warranty. I have a heat pump in my home that I had to send out a slip of paper that was amongst 500 other pieces of paper to get the warranty. And I got stung with a £400 bill. So it really sticks in my throat. There is none of that with Powerwall. It just starts from when you commission it. So as soon as the customer can see that site in their app, the 10-year warranty starts. There's no extra steps. There's no extensions. It's just very straightforward. I'd encourage you to read it. Like I say, it is 2 pages. There's no jargon. There's no loophole. We said Powerwall will do what it will do, and we'll make sure it will. And if not, we'll give you a brand new one. It's as simple as that. And what we're trying to do is drive the overall savings for the whole site. So we've built an inverter inside the unit. Now, because it's configurable to multiple power levels, between 3.68 kilowatts and 11.04 kilowatts, it gives a saving of anywhere between £400 and £1,000 based on how you configure the inverter in the Powerwall. So we're driving more savings to the end customer. I think it's probably one of our best priced products we've ever had in the Tesla Energy org, if I'm being completely honest. And I think it shows with the uptake we've had of it. I mean, Powerwall 3 has broken records for sales in the UK in Q4 and in Q1, and is very much on track to do it again in Q2. So it's been very well received, and I think these features have been a key part in driving that popularity. Now, all our products get better over time. If any of you on this call have a Powerwall or a Tesla vehicle, you'll have seen that for yourself. When I joined Tesla for the Powerwall 2 launch, Powerwall didn't even have the ability to charge from the grid from smart tariffs. It was a software update we released. We can constantly make our products better. We've released Stormwatch, EV charging, Charge on Solar, VPPs. All of these are things we've built with the future in mind. When there's things in Powerwall 3 that I know our engineering team are working on that are 6-7 years out. So it gives you a flavour of like how far ahead we're working on. There is a ton of features we have in the pipeline, and we'll share details with you as we get closer to them. But there's some really exciting things that we're working on. And if we can make a Powerwall 2 compatible with a Powerwall 3 feature, we'll still continue to support it. It's very much a no man left behind policy. We'll still continue to support Powerwall 2 as much as we possibly can. Now, that's the bulk of the overview. I mean, what we're trying to develop and provide you guys with is a high performance, easy to install, durable battery system that will stand the test of time and will meet all the claims that we've made the product will make. Like I said, we don't wouldn't be as here as long as we are. We're not a company that's only been here 2 years. Tesla Energy within Tesla as an org is 10 years old this year. So, we're here to, we've shown we can we can last, our products last. We say things that are going to happen in the next 10 years, and, we're still here to prove that it actually works. So we're giving you the comfort that you've got a product that will last with you. Now, to give you a little bit more of a feature roadmap, Powerwall 3 expansion pack delivery started this quarter, which is very exciting. I know Segen have a lot coming in, so if you have your order with it, I'm really keen to see you posting it on social media. I do scour LinkedIn to see all the installs, and please keep sharing them because we do love to see them. We are also launching our virtual power plant with Octopus this quarter, so we'll be expanding our partnership with them to drive more value to our end customers and increase savings with them. Something very exciting we're working on in Q3 is the ability to have a non-backup Powerwall. So for the first time ever, we will be able to have an option where you do not have a gateway. You can have a Powerwall with the remote meter. You do not have backup, but it will save your end customer in the region of about £1,000 on the install cost. So we're very excited about that. It brings us a lower cost of entry into the market. So really excited to bring that to market. We'll keep you posted on that. And one of the most exciting things that we're working on, and it's something we've been asked for years, is we're finally bringing to market a true three-phase Powerwall with three-phase backup. There is prototypes being installed in Germany this month and next month, so gives you a flavour of where it is. We hopefully have it in the early part of next year in the UK. But yeah, just to give you a flavour of what's to come, we're very, very excited about bringing that to market. So we'll keep you in the loop and no doubt do another one of these webinars to keep you up to speed with that as we get closer. So yeah, that's the kind of overview of Powerwall 3. I think the next slide is just the team, possibly. Resources there, I've jumped the gun a little bit. Yeah, so to kind of show you what resources we have available to you. From a training perspective, we have online webinars and training programs. So obviously we've got webinars like this. Our country technical manager, Dan, does webinars on multiple different topics like three-phase, wall connector, Power Hub. He's got specialized webinars. So you should receive newsletters from us with the links to register for them. We also have like a full online library of training, so feel free to join that anytime you want. They've got a training course and an exam, so if you've already done like a webinar with Dan or joined one of our roadshows, you don't have to resit the entire course. You can just go straight to the exam. And we're also in the process of building out a Tesla Energy van. So we've got a chap who's joined us called Lucifer, who's our field trainer. He will be traveling the country, coming to your location with the Powerwall rig in the back of the van, showing you how to get hands-on with the unit. So you'll be seeing a lot of Lucifer across the country in the near future. And in terms of design and installation resources, so like I said, the advanced system design guide's currently under review. It'll be published very soon. All our data sheets, installation guides, troubleshooting guides, everything you could possibly need, like the warranty, is all in our partner portal. It's probably the most undervalued tool. I get a lot of emails from people asking me for documents that takes 2 seconds to find in the partner portal. Please take the time to just get yourself familiar with it because it really does cover everything you need. Like you'll see in this next slide, all the marketing material you can need is here. We've got lifestyle imagery, banner templates, social media tiles. We're shooting customer content videos constantly. You've got the power of one of the largest brands in the world at your fingertips. Like, use it. We've given you assets to shout about it. It will help drive traffic to your website, so please use it. We've got a marketing team here. I'm sure George and his team will be happy to support as well. Speak to us. We've given you the assets. We're here to support you in this front as well. And it's now available. It's finally available. Yes, it's been available since September in the UK last year, and it's just going from strength to strength. I'm really excited about what the future looks like with Powerwall 3, and the feedback we've had from the field has been very encouraging as well. What I do want to show you, which I think the next slide might be my last one, is just the UK team, because I want to make sure you all know who's available to you across the country. So some of you might know Chris Penders. Chris Penders is going to say something that was a bit of a joke, but no, I'll choose not to. But Chris has been in the industry for a long time. he's well known. Chris has recently stepped up roles, so Chris now looks after all our residential energy products for Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. So Chris is looking after a lot of our countries now across the continent. I'm looking after the UK and Ireland from the team. Dan is our UK country technical manager, so anything that requires a lot of pre-installation design support, Dan's your man, so feel free to reach out to Dan. And based on where you are in the country, you will have your own dedicated account manager. So if you're in the Midlands, north of England or Scotland, Emma Brady will look after you. If you're in the north southeast, Jim Rugg looks after that region, so he'll be your point of contact. And if you're in the southwest, we've got George Rowe who's down there as well. So please feel free to reach out to any of the guys in the team. We're currently recruiting as well for another person in the team, so there'll no doubt be a new face we can introduce you to in the near future. Down the bottom there, we've got a powerwall-uk@tesla.com email address. That's a group shared email address that we share as a team. We also have an inside sales team based out of Berlin who support us. So if you need some support and if your account manager is on the road, feel free to drop an email in there. It's constantly monitored and you won't have to wait long for support. And the phone number below that is for our support team. So if you're on site needing some support, please phone that number and they'll be there to support you. Okay. So please don't be shy. Feel free to reach out to anyone in the team. We're here to support you. Any questions? I'll quickly, because I know we're over time already, I'll quickly jump through and see if there's any kind of key questions I can answer.
That would be handy. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Is the power increase configurable for Powerwall 3? Yeah, so basically it's the same product regardless of the power rating. It's one SKU, and when you go to site and you do the commissioning, you'll ask you your grid code and your approved power output. So you set it at the commissioning. You don't have to buy the 6 kilowatt variant or the 8 kilowatt variant. It's one SKU regardless. So yeah, just buy one product and then you set it in commissioning to match what you need. It doesn't work off grid. I can see the question about off grid. It doesn't currently work off grid. It may in the future. If you can help me make a business case for it, I'd be keen to hear it. I've been asked on and off a couple of times over the years about it. It's difficult for me to ask the engineering team to prioritize off grid over something like 3-phase based on the potential volume it may bring. But if you've got something different to tell me, please tell me. The dolly's unattainable. It has been unattainable. The big problem is the Shimano disc brake on it. There was a bit of a bottleneck getting them into the factory. We have pretty much tripled production of the dolly because it's been way more popular than we expected. There is regular, consistent deliveries going into Segen. So yeah, you will get your dolly very quickly. I promise that. We are doing everything we can to produce as many dollies as possible. There's a string connected to the Powerwall 3. Oh, I've lost that question there. How do we get a copy of the warranty? It's on the partner portal. Feel free to have a look on there. Everything's on the partner portal you could possibly need. I think there's questions jumping through and I keep losing my place.
Yeah, there is. Do you want me to ask them for you, Gary? Let me go through
No,
it.
cool.
So we've got somebody there saying if the inverter is installed with a config of a 3.68 kilowatt output, can it be configured to higher later on?
Yeah, definitely can. I know some installers are fitting it at 3.68 because they can get approval from the DNO quicker, and then retrospectively applying for a higher power output. It can be done. All you need to do is email our support team with a copy of the DNO approval for the higher power output, and we can do it remotely for you so you don't have to return to site.
Perfect. We've got Lewis who's asking about becoming a partner in Guernsey, but it's not accepting his phone number or postcode.
All right, okay, that's unusual. Lewis, see if you email the powerwall-uk@tesla.com email address. We'll work with you to find a solution to get around that.
Fantastic. More questions on warranties. Again, Gary's covered that. Is there a Northern Ireland contact for Powerwall at the moment?
We're not in Northern Ireland. We don't have any ambition at the moment to be in Northern Ireland. We are looking at the Irish market. We'll share details of that in due course. It will be operated from within the UK team alongside Segen, but there won't be a dedicated Irish person.
Perfect. And then what are the requirements to become a Tesla installer? Florian has asked.
Yeah, sure. So basically, we look for just a couple of criteria. You need to have MCS certification. That's the main one, and also hold a membership with HICE or REC. Those are the two key ones. As long as you have them, there's no issues. They're the kind of QMS that our head office have set for us to have a partner work with us. So yeah, if you've got them, apply. If you have applied, we've got a little bit of a backlog because we had some illness in the team. Our inside sales team are trying to catch up on applications, but feel free to drop us a message on that Powerwall box, and we'll make sure we get your application reviewed as soon as possible.
Perfect. Okay, I think we might have to leave it there, guys. We're running a little bit over. So thank you so much, Gary, for your time. It's been really, really
Thank you.
insightful. Thank you so much to Michael for joining at the start as well. And thank you everybody for attending. This is all getting recorded, so we'll send you out a full recording of this as well, in case you missed anything. And again, all of the contact information is all on this recording too. So thank you so much, and have a lovely rest of your day. Cheers.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Cheers.